morning, everyone. This is Kate Kalthoff, and we are going to do a I've been talking to the kids so much on Snapchat. I just about said a Snapchat thing. No. We are going to do a stamp and chat with Kay, and we are going to focus on the October 2019 winter, Winter Woods. Gosh, I hope I said that on my title. But anyway, Winter Woods, Winter Wonders, Winter whatever. It's the October 2019 paper pumpkin kit. And we're going to make an alternative project. So I have to thank my assistant, Kim Lundstrom, who had this idea initially, and then I kind of ran with it. I love working with Kim. Her and I have very, very similar styles when it comes to stamping, so it really works out well. We have a perfect partnership. Good morning, so great to see so many of you. What's the giveaway? Yay, let me tell you. We are going to give away 2 yards of this beautiful real red cotton ribbon, and that will be on Monday morning. And so you have the whole weekend to watch the replay, comment, share, all those things. And then I will also, there's lots of cards in this kit. I think you get a total of 10 Christmas cards that you can make. So I will send off 2 of those Christmas cards to our winners on Monday, or shortly thereafter Monday. You do have 48 hours to contact me with your address once I've announced the winners. And I've also noticed a few times that winners are not getting tagged on my page, and so I have to go back in and tag. And I think that happened I think it happened yesterday. And so that means you haven't liked my page. So gosh, you guys, if you haven't liked my page, but you like my videos, like my page. And there's a better chance of me being able to tag you if you're a winner. And then secondly, if you like watching the videos, go ahead and become a member of my public group, which is called Happy Stampers Stamping to Share. And you can find the link on my Facebook page at Stamping to Share on Facebook. And then you will get notifications of when I do these live videos. So thank you. Good morning. Hooray! We have so many people watching. Look at those little likes already coming up. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm gonna flip the camera down. I have a few things to show you. For those of you that do pay attention to my Stamping to Share page, you saw that yesterday was Halloween and I was posting a whole bunch of cutie things that I had gotten in the mail. So I'm going to show you those on camera. We did have a few treaters last night, so we are down to just 2 layers in the bottom of our bucket. So Steve and my daughter Casey, I'm sure, will take care of that candy, no problem. Unfortunately, I can't eat a lot of it because it has corn syrup in it, or corn product derivative. So as you know, a lot of you already know this, but I can't have corn in my diet. So it takes away a lot of the sweets, but that's okay, you know. It's a good weight loss tool. All right, so let me go ahead and flip the camera down. Okay, so let me show you some of the cuties. This is a pillow box created by one of my downline members, Grace Ball Fans, and I love it. It uses that Monster Bash product suite. And so, you know what? If you didn't have time to use it this year, well, Halloween comes once a year, so you could go ahead and get it and use it next year. In fact, the next card that I'm going to show you was just that. One of my customers sent this to me, and I know she bought it last year just as Halloween. She probably didn't even have time to use it last year's Halloween, but Elaine Wheeler sent me this, and it's so cute, and it's that Cauldron Bubble stamp set, and then there was matching designer series paper, and so she went wild making cards with last year's stamp set, so that's a very doable thing. And then sometimes too, it's nice to switch gears. I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get really sick of making Christmas cards or something, so then I'll switch out and make an Easter card just randomly. Sometimes it's just nice to pop another season in there, so maybe you'll be busy making Easter cards and then you just want to switch out to a Halloween card. So I like to make all different styles of cards all year long. And then here's one that my adopted demonstrator in my group sent to me. She is participating in a swap this month and sent her $2 for me to mail her swap cards back to her. I just give them a little they don't have to send me very much. You know, they're just such a huge part of my group. I just want a teeny little bit of the mailing reimbursement. And so again, such a cute little card. And I think, so now this is weird, but I don't actually own the Monster Bash suite or whatever, but I think there was little jar framelets that cut these all out, and I think these are actually hand stamped, but some of those framelets do work with the paper too, so that was pretty cool. And then I got this card from a downline member. I have to put it together here, who lives in Wisconsin, and it's so cute. So thank you, Lynn Newton, for this. And she was very inspired by the buckle cards that I made a couple weeks ago. And she took all the information down and she recreated this cute little Halloween buckle card. It's just darling. Again, using the Monster Bash product suite. And so aren't these are just so elegant. I think those can be used year-round, not just for Halloween, but they're just beautiful little frames. And then, of course, you open up the buckle card and it looks like this. And so, just darling. So thank you so much, Lynn. This is really a showstopper card. I love it. All right, and then I got a surprise in the mail. And this one is from a good demonstrator friend who lives not too far away here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. And she decorated a door for me, a really spooky Halloween door. I don't know if I'd be so inclined to knock on here and ask for treats, because look at this big old spider hanging down. Just not I don't like spiders. Nothing against them. I know that I think something like 70% of all people who see a spider actually carefully pick it up and take it outside to let it go so it can continue to kill bugs and all of that. Not me. No, 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 no. If I see a spider in the house, if it's a real big one, I grab the can of Raid. Yes, I risk getting cancer probably from doing that, but I am not going anywhere near it. If it's small, I immediately kill it. I mean, like, instantly. So I just can't stand spiders. I hate them, hate them, hate them. When I was little, I used to just run screaming away from them. But one time we were driving in the car and I saw a spider run across the dashboard and I screamed so loud my dad almost drove in the ditch. I really got lectured for that one. So anyway, since then, I have learned to control the urge to scream, unless it happens accidentally. Sometimes they just scare me so much. But I do not like spiders. That's all I'm trying to say. So anyway, here he is dangling down. So I'm not probably going to knock on this door. But it was a super cute card. So thank you so much. And I love how you could just take this basic door design and decorate for any holiday. Great idea. Okay, so guess what, you guys? I'm so excited about this. Oh, guess what? We have a new trimmer in Stampin' Up. I've got it. Look. And the sad thing is, the first thing that I'm going to cut on it is a window sheet, so you can't even really see what I'm doing. So I did bring some other papers in, so we'll be cutting with other papers that you will be able to see. But I do want to share this with you. There's a few little tips that you'll want to know about it. But let me share, first off, the paper pumpkin kit that we're going to be using. So this is paper pumpkin. And of course it comes out once a month, and it's a subscription, or you can get a prepaid, but I do think the subscription month to month is a better deal. And then if you feel like, you want to suspend it for a couple of months, you can do that. So anyway, I like it. They also send you an email every month, and so what you can do from that email is print out a PDF that you can put into a stamp case. See, they just send you this email and you can print out the PDF that looks like this and then insert it into a stamp case, and then you can store any leftovers, or you can also store the actual stamp set in there. It's really nice, especially, and this is a really nice stamp set. So it has a big snowflake, it has a whole bunch of little snowflakes, and it's got a couple of it's got a winter wishes and a season's greetings and an inside sentiment, and then a little cardinal that you can stamp, or you can make them bluebirds or whatever you want to do. So, and they even show pictures on the front cover of what the original cards look like, so that you can be reminded after you've sent them all out. All right, so let me show you what those cards look like. This is one done up exactly as directed by the instructions. So these instructions are pretty nice. They have nice color pictures on the front, and then of course it shows you on the inside step by step how to do it. And then on the back side they have some alternative ideas. So they even give you alternative ideas if you want to do something a little different. Well, it only took putting together one of these cards, and I knew I was not going to fuss around with the little tiny glue dots and these tiny little sequins. I mean, it was just not something I care to do. I know a lot of you like doing really fussy things, and you will have a blast with that. So I will probably use the sequins in a shaker card or something else. I did keep them. They look like this, but they are not my style because that is just too, my hands are too big to fuss with that little stuff. So I didn't fuss with it. So I just made, there's just one card that was all fussy like that. The rest of the cards, let me show them to you. This is how I did them. I just did them without those little things, and I think they look great. So I just stamped the little snow in the background, and this is basically put together exactly like Stampin' Up says, and I love it. And of course the envelopes are fantastic, because at first when I looked at this I was like, oh, what's this little wood grain thing here? We don't have any wood grain. Oh yes we do. You open up the envelope and look, wood grain on the inside. Isn't that cool? I love it. And the envelopes are nice and sturdy, and they just fit right in there, and they'll be perfect for sending out for cards. So again, if you share this video on your timeline, let me know that you've shared, or if you just say hello and tell me where you're watching from. I love that too. On Monday I'll get on here and I'll give away 2 yards of the ribbon and one of these cards that I created. All right, so let's get to some alternative ideas. So the first idea here is you can make little ornaments. So this one just uses the silver metallic thread to make a little hanger. So this could be a tag that you put on a Christmas present, or it's just, you know, a cute little ornament. And so it's just stamped in the back here with kind of a coastal cabana in the background stamped off so it's not too dark, and then a night of navy, and then a cute little jewel inside the snowflake, and then there's just a bunch of layering dies here. And then here is an alternative card, again all the stamping, and so again it's just a background. I think actually it's pool party, so pool party in the background with the stamp set that has all those little dots, and then the snowflakes just kind of scattered around over the top. And then for an added benefit of sparkle, let me hold it up, you could put little tiny rhinestones in each one. And that adds a nice little sparkle. Then instead of using a ribbon, I don't think people realize this, but instead of using a ribbon, if you're not like being all fussy, just take a contrasting designers, or you could use designer paper or cardstock. In this case, I use some silver foil just to layer it behind here. This is the storybook punch, and then just a little square cutout of wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And then this is what it looks on the inside. Again, bringing that foil to the inside. So these are things that you can do with your stamp set once you've put all your cards together. All right, so now let me show you a couple more alternative cards. Well, I've got one here. But when I was doing the beautiful 3D, I don't even know where it is. Where did it go? Oh, for crying out loud. I have it across the room. Hold on. When I was doing the beautiful 3D, which is right here, this is what I'm going to show you how to do. And you'll notice there is a cover on here to kind of keep people's fingers out of there. So that's a window sheet cover. But when I was doing that, I ended up, you know, using 2 of these trees, 2 sets of trees. So that meant I had some cards left over without trees to put on. So what I did, let me just grab, this is always something that works pretty good. Hold on, I'm just grabbing it. So then I ended up with 2 cards left over that didn't have trees. So what I did is I just stamped Season's Greetings. and then just put them down here on the bottom, and then just added one little cardinal there. And I think that turned out really cute. I really like these. They were super fast to do, and I love super fast. And I just decided to keep it a cloudy day, not snowing. If you wanted to add a little extra, you could go ahead and add some sparkle. I don't know if you can see this real well, but on the inside, I added sparkle to the trees so it will look more like this. Notice that sparkle? So that's real easy to do, and I'll be sharing with you how to do that. So you could do that with this one, but I just wanted to leave it plain. All right, so let me get everything out of the way here, and let's get started. We're going to redo this. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we're going to create this box. And so I'm going to show you how to do that on this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut this window sheet to get it out of the way, because we want that for the lid of our box, and we want the lid to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So just as an FYI, for those of you that have been waiting for a new paper cutter from Stampin Up, this is it, the new paper cutter. So I'm gonna tell you right now that the first thing I did wrong when I started using this is I was looking too much to the top. Well, those are centimeters, and so since I do everything in inches, I've had to train my eyes to look one level down, because one level down is where the inches are. But having the centimeters up here is very, very useful, and let me tell you why. Because there's some Stampin' Up! Is worldwide, and there's some very talented demonstrators in countries that use the metric system. So this will be really nice if you're following along on a YouTube video or something and you want the centimeters. Well, there they are for you, so I love that. All right, so we're gonna go 5 3/8. And again, I'm looking over here, and you're not even gonna be able to see this. You'll see this better when I do it with the Night of Navy paper. But then here's your cutting tool, and you just bring it down. And just like that, very easily does this cut right through the window sheet. Beautiful. Love it. In fact, I've been using this consistently now for about probably 3.5 weeks or so, and I've really, really enjoyed it. I've made probably 1,000 cuts with this cutter, and everything is still cutting beautifully and perfectly. So now I've gone ahead and done 4 1/8, and so I have my top part cut for what's going to go over the top on this 3D kind of, I don't know, what do you call it, a shadow box kind of. Okay, so let me now let me grab these pieces of, what are these called, Night of Navy, and we're going to do a couple of cutouts. So we want the box on the bottom to be just a tiny bit smaller so that the lid fits over the top. So these are the measurements for the bottom of the box. I did pre-do this, but I'm going to just show you on the cutter how to do this. So you are going to do 5 11/16 by 6 15/16. Yep, and then you're going to score all 4 sides at 3/4 inches. I know, crazy numbers, but it works. Just trust me. So I'm going to put this up here so I can remember what I'm doing. I'm going to go 5 11/16. So that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11/16 will be right here. And again, I'm not looking at the top. I'm looking right here at the next level down. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. And we're going to turn it on its side and go 6 15/16. You guys are going to be so glad I do not do this on every video. All right, so but I do want to show you this. So here we have our 6-inch mark. Believe it or not, there are even little markings on this part that's not silver if you really need to get focused on that. So 15/16 is way up here by the 7-inch mark. So just a teeny bit below the 7-inch mark. All right, there's the top of the box. No, I think I said that wrong. That's the bottom of the box because it's a little tinier than the top of the box. The top of the box, let me grab the measurements. 5 3/4 by 7 inches. So let me do that one real quick. That's super fast because that one is just normal things, like we're used to working with that. And then we'll flip it on the side and we'll do 7 inches. And then I'm going to show you how to score. So we need to score 3/4 inch on all 4 sides. And again, it's kind of nice because they have the they have a section over here to make it really easy for scoring those sort of smaller numbers. So then you just take your score tool and you are going to score all 4 sides at 3/4 inches. Don't worry, this video will start going a little faster because I did pre-do this, but I just wanted to show you how this is all working with the new Stampin' Up! Cutter. And there it is. So all 4 sides are scored. And since this is the top of the box, you're going to run it through your die cutting machine with this particular, it's the stitch shaped rectangles. And we're going to use the second largest. And so you'll just put this right on here, run it through your die cutting machine, and cut a hole out of the middle because that's the top of your box. Okay, so let's get started on doing more fun stuff, not the cutting stuff. All right, so I'm going to set this aside, but this is a very good price point, you guys, only $25. And of course you get a scoring tool with it and a cutting tool with it. And my cutting tool is working as sharp as it did when I first got it. So I don't think you're going to need replacement blades very often. All right, let's go ahead and get rolling on this. So let's put the bottom of our box together first. And just as a reminder, what were the measurements for the bottom of the box? They are a little bit smaller than the top of the box. So they're 5 11/16 by 6 15/16 scored all the way around at 3/4 inches. Another thing I do to make these boxes easier to put together is I cut little triangles on these edges. And then of course everything is scored up. Works great. I use my bone folder for that. And then I usually use glue to put boxes together, but because I don't want this to take too long, I am just going to use snail. And that'll work just fine for today. But normally I would use glue, and then you would have a box that definitely wouldn't be coming apart anytime soon. So we're just going to put these all together, and we have the bottom of our box created. There it is. Now for the top of the box, the top lid, remember I said you take the second largest stitch shaped framelit, and you're going to do a cutout on that, which I've already done. So you can set this aside and use it on another project. And then we're going to fold this all in and score it. And so again, as I did with the other one, I should show you with a little piece of paper. I made a little triangle here so that it makes it easier to put the box together. So let me go ahead and get everything folded. I forgot to do that in advance. I did it on the bottom, but I didn't do it on the top. And then I do like to score it with my bone folder, or just, you know, press it down. It makes it a lot easier to work with. It's not going to try popping off. It makes it a lot easier to work with. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. Hold on a second. I've got to take that heavy flannel off. We are getting cold weather here in Minnesota, but now with all the lights in my office, I'm getting a little hot. So we're just going to put a little snail again on all of these little corners here, and then we'll pop this together as well. And this will be the cover. And again, that's just a little tiny bit bigger than our base box. All right, then we're just going to make sure it fits. And I know it will. Hopefully. Unless I got these mixed up, which I could have done. Well, I will make this fit. Okay, so it fits. It's a nice tight fit. It is only 1/16 of an inch larger. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that window sheet that I had pre-cut, Let me just share with you what the size was on that again. It's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's going to go on the inside here. So to do that, I'm going to use some glue dots. And I'm just going to pull these off. And I'm going to put these, let's see if I've got a piece of paper here so you can see what I'm doing. You probably still can't see, but I'm putting them so close to the corner that they're almost falling off, because you want this in the very, 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 very corners. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool because my fingers, as mentioned before, are kind of big. So I use my Take Your Pick tool a lot when I want a thin extension of my fingers. There we go. Then we're just going to drop this in. That should fit perfect. And it does. So this is the cover of your box, and it's all protected so people can't go in there and push your trees down. All right, so now let's go ahead and do actually the easy part, which is this part, decorating your inside panel. So here we have our trees, and you're probably wondering what in the world I use to get this so beautiful and sparkly. I used the Ice Stampin' Glitter. This is something you can find in the Stampin Up 2019 Holiday Catalog, and it is great stuff. To put the glitter on, and the reason I did this in advance is I used some multi-purpose liquid glue, and I just put a little bit of glue, kind of just ran it over where the trees are. I didn't pay a lot of attention. I wanted it really sparkly. If you didn't want it quite so sparkly, you could make the glue just on where the snow is, but I kind of wanted a little bit more sparkle than that, so I just sort of put glue all over the place and then put the Ice Stampin' Glitter on it and then let it dry, because it takes a little while to dry when you're using the multi-purpose liquid glue. But now it's on there really, really well. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab 2 of the trees, and I did start pulling these away. So I'm just doing them both at the same time. But these are 2 of the trees that come in your paper pumpkin kit. And so there's kind of a shimmery side on one side. So this is the shimmery side. So that's the side you want to the front. Then you're just going to take a scissors and just snip up the middle here. And then you're going to glue that together so that this section, if you're snipping up the middle, comes right up to where that tree is here. So they come pretty close together. So I'm just going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue now, put that down right here, and then I'm just going to layer this over. And that is our inside section, just like this. So how do we do that? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab some, I got a new pack out here so you could see what it looks like brand new. These are foam adhesive strips that Stampin' Up sells. They're really super skinny, and they work really well for layering up your trees. So they kind of have a little dimension on the inside of your shadow box. So we're going to grab these little strips here, and I'm going to take my scissors. And this is the back side now, so I'm just going to take a strip. Uh-oh. I got to make sure I have the little peely peeled off. This is probably now going to be the long, boring part of the video, because it's kind of hard to do this fast. But if you don't see how I'm doing this, you really have no idea how this is all going to go together. So I have to show you. So you're going to put a couple of strips up here at the top. And one thing I forgot to mention is we are trimming this down. So this is one of the card fronts, and we're trimming it down to 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. So I forgot to mention that, but I'm going to mention it now. And the other thing we're doing is we're taking these strips, this one and this one, and we're also trimming the tops of the trees off just a little bit so that it measures out to 5 3/8. We have to do that, otherwise the trees are a little bit too big and they won't sit onto, or they won't fit inside the box quite perfectly. So then we can take these other little strips. Well, actually, I think I'll just go ahead and use the strips here. And we'll layer them on. And we'll put 3 of them on here. And I have to grab a few more. And again, I apologize for the slow part of the video. So what I'm going to do is while I'm doing this, I'll try to look at the comments and chit-chat a little bit with you. Okay, so all I did is I put a little strip here, a little strip there, and then 3 strips at the bottom, and that gives it a little bit of lift. Then we're going to set this in so that the bottom is even with the bottom. I have to bring it closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. And you just set this pretty much right in the middle so it looks like this. So you've got your bigger strips up here holding things down, and then you've got your little strips here. Then the next thing you're going to do is you want a middle layer. So to do that, you're going to take a 2 by, oh, I got this wrong. It's a 2-inch strip. I don't know why I put 5 3/8 because that is not correct. I should have had 2-inch strip. So it's going to be, how wide? Let's see, it's going to be 4 1/8 inch wide because that's the width of this. So 2 and 4 1/8. So just ignore that. I don't know why I put 5 3/8, but that's not right. Then you're just going to take your scissors and you're going to freehand cut some hills. There we go. So I got a couple of hills here, and they're going to go right here. See how nice that looks? And we're going to layer that up as well with some of these little strips of, I don't know, what is it called again? Foam adhesive strips. We're going to put 3 of those down. Well, thank you everyone for sharing. Goodness, we have a lot of people sharing, a lot of people joining from all over the place. Welcome. So good to see you. Thank you. We have people from Arizona, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. So nice to see you here. All right, so now we've added 3 more strips. You could use regular dimensionals too, but the reason I like the foam adhesive strips, it gives just a little bit more height. And I probably should have paid attention to this, which I did not. So you actually, I did this wrong. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so you only want 1 little foam strip in the center. Then you're going to layer your foam strips. So you're going to take 2 foam strips here and layer them with 2 more foam strips so that you get the height that you need. So here's how we do that. So the first strip will be the same height as this strip, and then the second 2 strips over the top are going to be the same height as this one strip here. Hopefully that makes sense. I forgot that, shoot. So if you're watching without volume, basically you have no idea what I'm doing. But if you're watching with the volume, thank goodness, now you know how I'm correcting all of my mistakes as I go along. All right, so there you go. You've got your double stacked foam strips. You're going to put this little shimmery white layer over the top, and ta-da. So that's what the next layer looks like. And then you just have 1 more layer left. And that layer is going to go again with the shimmery white to the top. It's going to go like this. So again, we want to do some layering. And again, we're going to take these foam strips and we're going to put, so we only need to do 1 layer up. So we're going to put 1 layer up on this bigger tree right here. I'm just making sure I have it all exposed. And the reason I'm keeping it just to the top is it won't show because it's going to have the lid of the box kind of covering this area. So if you do have any dimensionals, if you're using dimensionals, or if you do have any adhesive kind of show through, nobody's going to see it. because the lid of the box will cover it. And then you're just going to layer 3 more little strips down here at the bottom. So there's a lot of little strips that we're doing. But the reason I picked this over the big regular hexagonal dimensionals that we usually use is because it fits really well on these birch trees, and it's a little bit taller than the other ones. So let me get this out of the way. And then this is ready. We're going to set this up. And you know what? I forgot. Again, we have to add extra dimensionals to the top of the trees because we've got extra layers here. So in order for them to stay at the right size, we have to put 3 dimensionals on the treetops. So again, oh my gosh, you guys must be so bored because this is a lot of putziness. This is why I don't do a lot of this kind of stuff, because it's not really in my nature. But it's such a pretty project. I thought you'd all enjoy seeing how to do it. So yes, you have to do 3 layers on the top of these trees in order to get them the same and the correct height. So here we go. 1 more after this one is peeled off. Oh, and some of you are loving this. Karen's saying she's loving it. Well, hallelujah. I probably figured I'd be losing everybody by this point. But hooray, there's still a few of you watching. All right, so look at how much that's layered. It has to be layered 3 deep in order for it to all be the right size. And then here we've got 2. And so we're going to set this here. Try to keep these out of the picture. Set it so the bottom is layered up properly first. And then you can gently let this go. And the trees will be the right height. Now, if you're really an overachiever, you could do another layer in here if you're really, really careful, because you don't want it to show through. However, I am not really careful. I am not really all that patient, so I'm just going with right up here. And honestly, once you have your box together and you have this lid protecting it, there's nobody going in there to poke at it. So everything should stay nice and good. So we're going to flip this over. Don't worry, I didn't forget about the cardinals. We're going to put those on too. We're going to flip this over, and just to keep it in place, we're going to add a couple of glue dots to the back. And really, we only need, 4 of them here. And then we're going to drop it into the bottom of our box. So I mentioned before, where did this idea come from? I'm going to show you that on the back of your Paper Pumpkin Kit instructional piece, there was this one right here, which is a little shadow box. But instead of running to the store and actually buying a wood box to make it, to have your shadow box all done, this is a shadow box that we make with cardstock and window sheets. So it works pretty slick. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna drop this into the box, into the base of the box. Should have maybe checked to make sure this fit. It does. It's a very tight fit, but it fits. So then you can take your pick tool. Actually, I should put the cover on this, which, here it is. So take your pick tool and just kind of press it in there so everything will stay in place. Look at that, it's perfect. Almost. Okay, now this one wants to kind of come down. So I'm going to make sure before I think it's because the trees are just a little bit too, they didn't get trimmed quite enough. So I'm going to trim those down just a hair. There we go. Now everything is perfect. These ones are good. Just to be on the safe side though, I'm going to go ahead and trim it. So I'm just taking a hair off. There we go. Because once I add my cover, I don't want these popping down, and they won't now because I've trimmed them up. So there you go. Now all we have to do is add the pretty little cardinals. So you get all these little cardinals, and all you have to do is add a dimension or add a glue dot and poke them out. So we're going to add a glue dot to the back and add a glue dot to the other one here so they'll face each other in the treetops. And then we're going to put this one on the tree that's way back here. So he's way back here in the woods. And then the other one, this bigger one here, we're going to pull him out. And we're going to add him to a tree about right here. So let me grab get this under here, and then we can press down, and there he is. So this is almost complete. All we have to do now is add our lid. I'm going to put this on. Oh good, it's fitting a little better than it did before, I think. There we go. It's done. And probably what I will do is once the camera stops turning, I will go in and just reinforce this because I see one popped away. I will reinforce this with a little bit of glue. But there we go. Here's our box. Then all you have to do is wrap it and add some ribbon and make it look like this. So what I did is I just cut a length of ribbon and glue dotted these two pieces together here, and then just wrapped it around the box and added my bow. I'm not going to do this on camera because I do want to reinforce my edges. Remember, I did not use glue just for sake of time because I didn't want to hold it and wait for it to dry. But I'm going to do that after I turn the camera off, and I'll make this second one look exactly like this one. And then you just tie a bow and glue dot that onto your upper area here. And it's just so pretty, and it stands up beautifully. Look at that. So you can just stand it up on your fireplace or whatever. It makes a really, really pretty Christmas decoration. So there you are. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. I truly appreciate it. And I do have to share one little thing. If you purchase $75 each month, I have a little special, and this month, the special for $75 purchases using a host code is the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. So there it is. The $75 purchase, there's the host code. The host code's good through 11/12, and this is the November gift with purchase when you do a $75 order. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin if you don't already, because next month they're going to do a companion pack to this, and it's going to be the Winter Woods tags. So this month we had the cards, and next month we're going to have the tags. And I was under the impression that the tags are going to be really fun to work with, and you will be able to turn them into cards or 3Ds or use them perfectly wonderfully as tags. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.